UFC 330, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. I'm here to give you my full card picks and predictions on the entire fight card from the banger main event all the way down to the first fight of the night. We have 12 fights in total, but before we get started, we'll quickly recap how we did from a prediction standpoint last week, because again, we crushed it once again. Also, from a betting perspective, over 5 units, 5.25 units. We'll talk specifically about the bets on Friday when I give you new ones, but another one last week, 6.61 units up. The week prior, I believe we were down just about 2.5 units, and the week before that, UFC OKC, we went up over 20 units, well over 50 units so far on the year too, so just absolutely crushing. If there's ever a time to listen to me, it's right now. But we've been consistent all year round so far, and we're going to quickly recap, like I said, from a prediction standpoint. UFC Vegas 120, we went 10-2. We lost the first fight of the night, and then we went 10-1 since then. It was the only fight we lost on the prelims, which means that we went 2-4, 6-1 on the prelims, and we went 4-1 on the main card. The only one losing was Billy Quarantillo. That was a bad bet on my part, or bad prediction. Canuto, the first fight of the night, she had a lot of chances to win that by sub. Ultimately did not get it done, but we hit some absolute bangers on this one, obviously, from a betting and prediction standpoint. So we'll talk about that on Friday. Before we get started, also just wanted to point out 5 predictions: 10-2, 10-2, 11-3, 10-5, or 10-4, I'm sorry, and 10-2. Obviously, we're picking favorites, but we're also picking dogs, and we're picking correctly. That's what matters. So, anyways, let's get started. Main event, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. Obviously, Islam became a double champ, goes up in weight, and absolutely dominated JDM. And now he's looking to get a defense against Ian Machado Garry. Garry obviously taller, more the reach advantage, leg reach advantage. That's what's going to happen against Islam because he's facing bigger guys now. But Ian always was a very tall fighter. He used his range very well. He uses his height very well as well. Now this one's interesting because I understand that a lot of dogs have been winning this year, especially in championship fights, especially fights where you think it's going to be completely one-sided and it's the exact opposite. Ian looks really good. I mean, he's the only person to beat Carlos Prates in the UFC. Look what Prates has done since. It's likely Prates is next no matter who wins this fight. So from that standpoint, you know, Ian is one of the highest skilled IQ fighters in the game. Also, I think Makhachev is the same way in different ways. Obviously, their styles are very different. Makhachev is looking to take you down, just wrestle you, just absolutely maul you on the ground, but he's looking to finish you on the ground as well. You know, there's always been a difference between him and Khabib. Obviously, Makhachev's striking is a lot better. He also gets hit a lot more. His wrestling might not be as clean or as dominant as someone like a Khabib, but when he gets you down, he's looking to sub you. Khabib was looking to keep you there and just beat you up. So I'm very interested to see if he's going to be able to take down Garry as much as, you know, I'd like to think so, because Garry, you know, he has great takedown defense. He's going to be the longer fighter, which could play as a disadvantage because his legs are going to be wide open, to be honest. And obviously, you cannot make mistakes. Listen, everyone always says, just try to get a knee. Just try to hit him with a knee if he's trying to get a takedown. If you do that and you miss, you're down in like 0.5 seconds. Ian's a lot smarter than that, but he's going to have to take chances to win this fight. It's the only way to beat someone like Makhachev. You're going to have to take chances. Now, is he going to be able to use his range here? I think so, very early. It's not going to be like the JDM situation where Islam gets 19 minutes of control. I genuinely think that this one could be a lot closer than people think. I would not be surprised if this was 2-2 going into the 5th, truly, because of how just slick Ian Garry is with his movement, with his striking, with his kicks down the middle, with his just calf kicks. He's so quick, especially early. He does so well at just maintaining his pace and his cardio that he won't really be tired unless he's just a fish out of water early in the fight and he gasses out that way if Islam takes him down. He seems very patient as well. And I'm saying all of this, and I still think Islam is going to win. Unfortunately, I just think in the striking department, it's going to be very close. Ian might even land a little bit more. I just think in terms of with numbers wise, Islam's going to be able to take him down, and that's where he's going to do his best work, as we already know. He's gone to war on the feet before. I don't think he's going to be looking to do that. He's going to take chances, and I think he's going to try to submit Ian as much as possible. Ian's grappling defense is pretty damn good too. He also trains in Brazil with a bunch of jiu-jitsu nerds as well. So this one's going to be very interesting. I love this fight a lot, honestly. People think that Islam's going to run through him, or the opposite side where Ian's just going to just outpoint him on the feet. I think it's going to be a mix of both. I really think this could be a very, like, stylistically, if you don't love MMA, like love it, you might find it a little bit boring, but I think this is going to be one of the craziest like chess matches of the year. Absolutely, hands down. But at the end of the day, I still do have to lean Islam. Islam right now, minus 340. Not the best, not the worst, not something I would want to put in absolutely everything, but I see a lot of other lines here that I like less than that. So give me Islam Makhachev to win by decision. Next up, Mackenzie Dern versus Gillian Robertson. Now, obviously, Dern is looking now to also get a defense after winning this belt. She's only going to be an inch shorter. 2-inch leg reach advantage, same reach advantage. What I think about this fight is that, like, when you go down the line of like striking, wrestling, grappling, right? Wrestling wise, Gillian takes the cake. Not by a lot, because they're both absolutely horrendous wrestlers. So honestly, we can throw that away. Striking wise, Mackenzie Dern has never knocked out anyone. We saw Gillian Robertson get her first TKO in her career like last year, I believe, which we took, by the way, plus 700. But it was more like she was on top and just landed blows, obviously. But striking on the feet, Mackenzie Dern's boxing, obviously because of Jason Perillo, has improved like night and day. Gillian Robertson's striking might be some of the worst in her division. She is slow. She throws the same combos. She throws the swimming punches like she's swimming. Terrible. It's horrendous. And there's no setups to anything. She's really just hasn't been facing the best competition. Mackenzie Dern just beat Fernando to win that belt. And sure, she has some bad losses, but from the striking standpoint, she looks so much better at this point. Now we go jiu-jitsu, right? Gillian's known as this like submission artist, this and that. You look down, she's gotten subbed before. Maybe not exclusively in the UFC or MMA, but like grappling tournaments, she has before. Mackenzie Dern, in my opinion, has the best jiu-jitsu probably in her division. There's a reason why she doesn't have any TKOs, but she still has 16 wins, MMA wins under her belt. Her striking is improved, but it allows her to just set up her wrestling and sets up her grappling very well too. If this goes to the ground, people think it's going to be even or Gillian's going to have the advantage here. I think it's the exact opposite. I think Mackenzie Dern has an opportunity to submit Gillian Robertson, beat her at her own game, the same way Islam did to Charles Oliveira, October 2024, I believe that was, in Abu Dhabi. I think she has a perfect opportunity to do this. Do I think that she knocks her out? No, she's not going to get her first TKO, but I think she's going to piece up Gillian Robertson. I think she's going to get her to the ground, and I think she's going to choke her out. At the very worst, I think Mackenzie Dern dominates a decision, but I really do think that she gets that finish. Now, Mackenzie Dern right now, minus 225. I'll be honest with you, Mackenzie Dern, to me, is one of the biggest locks on the entire card. Straight up, I think she absolutely mauls Gillian Robertson Saturday night. So give me Mackenzie Dern to win by submission or decision. Now that we got all the championship fights out of the way, we'll speed run a few of these, obviously. Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Obviously, both are coming off of losses. Mansur's was his first loss of his career, and he got finished. He was mauled in that fight by Usuri. But he's facing Stoltzfus, who is, in my opinion, good enough to be in the UFC, but not good enough to beat really anyone. Malik is 2 inches taller, 4.5-inch reach, half-inch leg reach disadvantage, nothing crazy. I think Malik is going to show out here. Stoltzfus has absolutely no defense whatsoever. I think this is a great bounce back spot for someone like Mansur Abdul-Malik, because Stoltzfus just honestly has absolutely no defense whatsoever. I think Malik's going to be able to piece him up, take him down, dominate him. I think he finishes him and he wins inside the distance. Abdul-Malik is minus 530. Honestly, I don't love it, obviously because of what we saw before, but I do think he wins pretty dominantly compared to some of these other fights that we're going to talk about. It's nasty, but a double chance with a finish might even be minus 120, 125. So I'd probably take a chance at that. Give me Mansur Abdul-Malik to win by TKO or submission. Next up, Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovics. Now, Barboza said this may be his retirement fight, so you already know what that means. You got to hammer Ribovics. But then you look at that line, I'll show you later. and it's disgusting. Now, Barboza's an inch taller, 6-inch reach advantage, 2-inch leg reach advantage. Prime Barboza, or even like right after Prime Barboza, I think he probably beats Ribovics to a pulp. Ribovics gets hit very, very cleanly. He has a big, Argentinian head. Now, he's very violent as well. I think it's probably his best attribute is that he's going to be in your face. He's going to come at you. He's going to get hit, but he's going to try to hit you harder. And more likely than not, if he finds that shot, you're probably going out or you're close to it. But Barboza's on his way out. He's older. This is going to be tricky. I think because Barboza is obviously like on an absolute downward spiral, people think he's going to get finished. Like Ribovics is like I said, he's violent, but it's not like he's going to finish him in a minute or something. You know, it's not like he's fighting like some crazy power puncher or something like Larian Douglas or something. You know what I mean? Like his jabs hurt. So I actually think this one can go pretty long. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this one was a little bit more competitive than people think too. Maybe not like 1-1 going into the third. Ribovics could be up 2-0 going into the third, but I can see some closer rounds. I can see them like, I can see Barboza kind of pushing back, especially because he thinks he might be his last fight. He's gonna, try his best, but he's going to give it all he has. And I think if he does that, I think Barboza will be able to make this a fight. I just don't know if he'd have the stamina in the third round to really just outpoint Ribovics. He might try to grapple wrestle after what Gamrot did to Ribovics in his last one. I don't think he's going to have the same success. That being said, I do think Ribovics does win, but I don't think he finishes Unk, honestly. Ribovics right now is minus 520. Like I said, absolutely terrible. Him by decision might be plus 400. Let's see. No odds are out for that yet, but I do like that. So give me Esteban Ribovics to win by decision. I don't know why, but the Charles Johnson and Jose Ochoa fight is not here for some reason, but it is on Tapology. So Charles Johnson is facing Jose Ochoa. Obviously, Charles Johnson only loses to some pretty good, like just studs. Almabayev in his last one. He beat Bruno Silva before that, which was controversial, and then he lost Alex Perez. If we're being honest, there's a good chance that Charles Johnson could have lost 5 in a row because he lost his last one. Bruno Silva split. Low-key, he lost that one. He gets pieced up by Alex Perez. He's losing to Loner Kavanaugh, to be honest. And then Temerov, he loses. So let's say 4 of his last 5. Loner clearly didn't win anyways. But Jose Ochoa, 9-2. He's 2-2 in the UFC, but his losses are Loner Kavanaugh, Asu, Almabayev. He's beating Cody Durden and Clayton Carpenter. This one's going to be a fun one. This is going to be a scrap. Charles Johnson is getting older. Like I said, it's just been win-loss, and even his wins are controversial. I think Jose Ochoa shines in this spot, especially on the feet. Jose Ochoa right now, minus 400. I don't love that line either, to be honest. I don't love that line either. I think it can... Charles Johnson is a tough dude to finish, especially these younger guys. They kind of take their time a little bit more. They get a little more tired in the third round. So who knows? This could be also something where Jose Ochoa goes up 2 and he cruises against someone like Charles Johnson, who you shouldn't give a third round to. But regardless, give me Jose Ochoa to win by decision. Next up, Chidi and Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez. Now, Chidi's going to be an inch taller, 3-inch reach, 3-inch leg reach advantage. Joel obviously lost to Amasov, which obviously got dominated, choked out. It is what it is. Alvarez still an absolute stud, still deserves to be top 15. Chidi also coming off of a loss, getting older. Obviously, his striking is probably better than Alvarez, definitely is. But listen, the striking will be competitive. And I went back and forth on this one for a while, to be honest, because I really did not know which way to go. I was like, damn, Chidi's kind of a good dog here. Joe's coming off of a loss. Morale might be very low, but Chidi's been submitted 4 times in his MMA career. Joel Alvarez will probably choke him out, if not win a decision, but he's very violent as well. I honestly think that he chokes out Chidi. He gets back in the win column. Joel Alvarez right now, minus 280. Not the best, not the worst, but honestly, I'd rather take that than Ribovics. I know that sounds crazy. I'd rather take him than Jose Ochoa. I know that sounds crazy, but I think he has a better chance of beating Chidi pretty cleanly. So give me Joel Alvarez to win by submission or decision. Next up, Jalin Turner versus Kaue Fernandes. Now, Jalin Turner is going to be huge compared to homie. He's going to be like 5 inches taller, 4-inch reach, 6-inch leg reach advantage. But Jalen's always been a skinny dude with a taller one, longer reach. But it's different than Ian Garry, because Ian Garry knows how to move his head. His head movement's pretty clean. Jalin Turner's head movement is not that clean. Obviously, he came back after retiring. Dude, I'll be honest with you, I'm a big Jalin Turner fan. And obviously, every time he lost, I was sick. But when he retired, I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. I was like, damn, we're not going to watch him fight again. I don't think I've ever faded him in any prediction. So I could be biased, obviously. And then when he unretired, he won in his last fight. I believe Edson Barboza in the first round. I looked at his last fight when it was, and it was like 6 months ago or something, like 7 months ago. So I was like, dude, he didn't really even retire. Like, Peyton Talbot has had a longer layoff right now than that. So he got back on the win column, which is cool. Kaue Fernandes, is a sleeper fighter, can kind of do it all, to be honest. People kind of underlook his striking and his striking, I should say. But he can hold his own. He can really mix it up as well. And he's never been knocked out. I think the only way Jalin Turner can really win fights at this point is if he's either fighting someone who can go down within the first 2 rounds, or some way, somehow, miracle, he has better cardio at this point in his career, which usually goes down because he's never had great cardio. Fernandes is very durable. I think he's going to be able to hold his own. And like I said before, I've never faded Jalin Turner until today. I'm going to go Kaue Fernandes here because I think this one extends, and I think this one could be 1-1 going into the third. Even Kaue being up 2-0, and Jalen's going to be looking for that finish, and he's not going to get it. Kaue Fernandes right now is plus 136. I love it. I love it. That's the first dog of the night. Give me Kaue Fernandes to win by decision. Next up, Donte Johnson versus Eric McConico. Now, another one where Donte Johnson's going to be 4 inches shorter, and McConico, obviously, 3-inch reach advantage. But Donte Johnson, 1-inch leg reach advantage. So weird, dude. He has like a short torso, but like really long legs. Anyways, Donte Johnson coming off of a win. McConico also coming off of a win. Dude, McConico's winning fights. I don't know how. Donte Johnson doesn't look so great either. Let's be honest. He was supposed to knock out his opponent his last fight. Didn't end up happening. But McConico can get hurt. Donte Johnson does have power. And I said it after Donte Johnson's last fight. It's either I fade him, depending on who he fights. I either fade him or I take him to win by knockout. And then he faces McConico. And I go, I'm not going with McConico. So I'm going Donte Johnson to win by knockout. Donte Johnson right now, minus 245, minus 230 actually. This is one of those plays where you go, do I want to take him in a parlay? Not really. Not really. He's not that great. But I think this could be one of those spots. Give me Donte Johnson to win by knockout or TKO. Next up, Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore. Now, both are coming off of wins. Tresean Gore's an inch taller and has a 1-inch leg reach advantage, but Luque, half-inch reach advantage. Nothing too crazy. They're both very similar in that aspect in this world. This one's another one I was very back and forth on because, listen, Luque is a dog. He's a veteran. But ever since he got pieced up by Jeff Neal, he's never been the same, even with the wins, especially with the losses. And we have Tresean Gore, who honestly was probably going to be cut if he didn't win his last fight against Makhachev. Comes back, not even comes back, but kind of comes back, but really just dominates Makhachev towards the end of that fight and finishes him. I mean, absolute savage, absolute stud. Listen, he's very dangerous as well. I think he's just very hesitant at times, but Luque, this is another situation. Luque 5 years ago, he'd probably finish him within the first 3 minutes. Luque now, it's going to be competitive. I think Tresean Gore is going to be able to hold his own, especially in the striking. Vicente Luque cannot, block a punch for his life anymore. I think Gore even might try to wrestle him a bit. Hopefully he doesn't get caught with anything crazy with Luque on his back. For the most part, he'll probably keep it on the feet, try to defend some takedowns as well. I got to go Tresean Gore here. He's the younger fighter. He's more hungry. After his last win, or his last fight, which was a win, he was like, yeah, I cut out a bunch of other things that I won't say, but he cut off a bunch of things and he feels so much better now. It shows. So if he beats Luque, I really believe him. Right now, he's minus 122. I like it. Give me Tresean Gore to win by decision. Next up, Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. Fernando's making his debut. He's an inch taller, 5.5-inch reach advantage, but the half-inch leg reach is disadvantage. Now, Tobias made his debut in his last fight, and he lost. And I'll be honest with you, he didn't look good one bit. There's so much so that Lucas Fernando is the favorite here. I was kind of shocked. But Fernando obviously made his debut. He's making his debut, but he lost on Contender Series against Cesar Almeida by decision. He's rounded up a few dubs since then, since not winning that Contender Series fight. And he's coming back here. probably very motivated. He's going to have the reach advantage. Listen, this is going to be a striking battle, and he's going to keep this on the feet. And I think he smokes Tobias the entire time. I think he probably either gets a finish in the second round or maybe third, or this goes a distance. But he's going to just pepper him up with some jabs. I think the striking is like one-sided completely. Tobias might have to wrestle a bit, but I don't think he's really that good, to be honest. We're going Lucas Fernando with this one. Lucas Fernando right now minus 290. Give me Lucas Fernando to win by TKO or decision. Next up, another vet. We got Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Now, Magny is 4 inches taller, 8-inch reach advantage, 6-inch leg reach advantage as well. I mean, Magny, coming off of a loss. They're both coming off of losses. Who did Brahimaj lose to in his last one? That's right, Soriano by decision. But he had won 3 in a row before that. And Magny, I mean, he's a dog. He just lost to Amasov by anaconda choke, fair. But before that, he was 2-0 in the UFC in 2025 in the UFC. And before that, his last 2 losses, Carlos Prates and Michael Morales. Or his last dog, Shavkat Gilbert, Ian Garry, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates, Amasov. That's his losses. Brahimaj is nowhere near that. He's on the Jake Matthews zombie Dos Santos level of fighter. Neil Magny wins this fight. I think he keeps it safe early. I think he does that, what he did to like Phil Rowe, where he like grapples him up a bunch and like he keeps it as close as possible. He uses that reach at times, but these are the fights that Neil Magny wins. Brahimaj has some power early, sure. He might be able to take down Neil Magny, sure. But Neil Magny, for 3 rounds, I trust him way more than Brahimaj. I went back and forth with this, and I went, what am I doing? Neil Magny at dog odds 2? Then I saw that, and I said, I'm definitely taking him. Neil Magny right now, plus 105. I love it. Give me Neil Magny to win by decision. And last but not least, Jeremiah Wells versus Maitabek Orobai. Both coming off of wins. Orobai an inch taller, same reach. Jeremiah Wells, half-inch leg reach advantage. Now, this one also can be a little more competitive than people think. Orobai just finishing people left and right. Obviously, his last one was a little bit boring. He had some chances early, but then just proceeded to just wrestle. Jeremiah Wells looks really good. He's very underrated as well. I think striking-wise, this could be really close. But when it comes to the wrestling, I mean, I think Orobai just takes the cake. That's what he's going to do here. He's going to try to wrestle you. I don't think it's going to be the exact same as his last fight against Chris Curtis, but probably a mix of both. I think he's going to get his striking off as well. Listen, he's pretty powerful early in the fight. I think he takes on Jeremiah Wells. I think he just, a clean 29-28 times 2, maybe at 130-27. One of those fights not to write home about, but he picks up the win here. Orobai right now is minus 900. I don't like that at all, but I do think he wins. So give me Maitabek Orobai to win by decision. And that's UFC 330, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. I just want to thank everyone again for the constant support, not just here, but everywhere else. Please continue to subscribe here. I drop 2 videos a week. We've been crushing both videos, not even view-wise or anything comment-wise. Like, what I'm giving you is absolute heat and fire. So please continue to like, comment, support, subscribe, share this with all your friends. I mean, if they love MMA, if you want them to get into MMA, I think I provide a good amount of knowledge for all of that. And if you're trying to make money, that too. So please support. I drop videos on Instagram and TikTok every single day about whatever fight card is happening. We have 8 more straight weeks of UFC cards, which means you're getting, what is that? So it's 7 times 8, 56 videos between now and then. Why not? And it's just content for these fight cards, my predictions, my thoughts, sneaky props, everything like that. So please support me there. And of course, the best way to support me as well is to join the Discord. It's the best way to support me. It's the best way to show your appreciation because it allows me to do this for you every single week. 2 videos a week here and a million videos everywhere else. All the content. You get all my videos, all these predictions that I'm doing now early. You get all the early bets that I put out in the world there. And you get premium bets that I don't share anywhere else. And I share every single bet I place on my own phone there. So please join me there. Please support. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And I will see you guys Friday for UFC 330 Best Bets. Let's go.